Hello and welcome to a new episode من Inspire Podcast. اليوم أنا قاعد مع شخص قبل ما حتعرف عن الاسم أو أي شيء leave it to the end. كل اللي بدي أقوله تعرفوا لما يكون عندكم a ball of energy, a ball of positive, inspirational, empowering energy. هذا الشخص اللي بتشوفوه and it's contagious. This is the person قاعد معه اليوم. So this is the first introduction لازم أقولها قبل ما أعرف عن the job and what we do. But this person is also, a list is long, a film and theater maker, an artist, a teacher, and an arts manager. She is equipped with more than 25 years of experience in this industry. She has produced, directed, and acted in over than 20 short films, 1 documentary, and 10 plays worldwide. Currently, she is partner in SIK, while staged in Kuwait, which I'm a huge fan of, لأن صرت a partner of finally. فبس بدي أقول عن جد welcome Dima al Ansari to Inspire. It's been a while. قعدنا مع بعض من 3 أشهر إننا نعملها, and it's finally happening.
Amazing.
Thank you so much for being here.
I'm so excited. Thank you so much for having me.
Relax.
You know, they say that you are a reflection of the person who is looking at you. So if you see me in this way, it's because it is you that is full of energy and beauty and good positive energy. صراحة.
لا بالعكس أول مرة شفتك I remember in a workshop. Honestly, it's this vibe that you get from people right away. واللي هي definitely بيكون مبين عليهم إنه عندهم هيدا energy that they're just echoing or vibrating. فبالعكس thank you عن جد. ومبروك على you're basically expecting a new girl صح؟
Yes. 4-month baby girl.
Oh my God.
First child. Very excited.
ألف
very
مبروك
happy.
والله. I'm happy for you.
Thank you so much.
I can see دايما you're touching on it, taking care of it يعني. I can only imagine how precious it is. Yes, exactly. على كل حال ديما باختصار شوف ديما نحن Inspire is all about مثل بقول لك العالم هو it's empowerment و inspiration حلو. و you fit perfectly بهالشي because you're someone كتير بركز على empowering people and how do you inspire people in your own way. هلا قبل ما نفوت digging deeper into this بس أنا دايما بسأل الناس إنه إذا أنا اليوم سألتك إنه briefly okay بتعطينا brief answer. إذا قلت لك give me Dima's story and I know عندك years and years of experience. But what are the things اللي بيجوا براسك إذا نحن بنشوف فيها السنة ورا السنة? What is Dima's stories?
I've thought a lot about this. I'll be honest, Hussein. مش إنه I haven't thought about it. خصوصاً as a storyteller, you're always encouraged to tell your story. What is your story?
Yes.
When I traveled, it was always about what is your story, though, Dima? مش إنه the usual stories of Cinderella or all the other stories that exist in the world. They were always fascinating to me, but I never knew my own.
Yes.
So when I did think about my own, I can put it maybe in this way. I'll put it in this way. The indigenous people, they have a saying.
Yes.
And they say that you need to look 7 generations to your past and 7 generations to your future before you make any decision. Before you need to understand who you are, look 7 generations to your past. So I started digging. I only knew my grandparents. I didn't know at all where we were originally from, what they were doing, what were their names. So I did a lot of digging, and I'm still doing it. I really wanted to go back as far back as I could, really know the names. What were they doing? What were we? What kind of people were we? And I realized that one thing I can tell you for sure about Dima is that it's been ongoing change. So you can say I come from exile, even though I've never even known. So back, we can start in Saudi Arabia. We can go to Palestine, where my great-grandfather was the Sheikh of the Al-Aqsa Mosque in Palestine, one of the sheikhs, which I also didn't know much about, never know anything about Palestine. I ended up in Kuwait with a Kuwaiti passport, born in Lebanon to a Lebanese mom who, of course, with my dad, she became Kuwaiti. So I have a very much of a Kuwaiti feel to me, but I'm also, if you want, injected with a Palestinian vibe, maybe a little bit, maybe a little bit of Lebanese.
Extremely diverse.
Extremely diverse, and I've never lived in one place or had one home for more than 3 years in all my life. So I've always seen myself as a nomad, as a gypsy. And it used to drive my parents crazy sometimes. No, you're not منك وقع من شجرة Dima. You have roots. I'm like, yes, but we keep changing. And I lived in the States when I was younger. My whole 3 to 6 years old, Arizona.
Wow.
Random. And then here in Kuwait, Lebanon, Dubai, Canada, you name it, I've been there. And so my story is a story of a traveler, like a Ibn Battuta lady. If you want.
You've just been all over the place. وكمان you've acted in almost a lot of countries. And you've gone internationally. I think I saw that you have filmed something in Canada وبالكويت وبلبنان and this goes on.
The list goes on. Yeah, I've just really been everywhere I went. I was either acting, directing, or producing, and it was either film or theater all the time. That was what I was interested in. Sometimes I would start just like I didn't know anybody in Canada. I didn't know anyone. I would just go up to a company. Hey, what do you need? We need an outreach coordinator. Okay, I'll outreach. Okay, a volunteer. Next thing, okay, I'm done volunteering. No, wait, we want you. So that I get hired. Oh, wait, you have talents.
Oh my God.
Why don't you act in this play? Sure, I'd love to. So it was always like me offering myself as in service, because I also am a yoga fan, and I have a bit of a yoga background. One of the things I love so much about yoga is, believe it or not the hatha posture yoga, but the karma yoga, which is that you give. That's how you get. You give to get.
Wow.
So you clean the floors and you volunteer and you help people, and you don't always think about what you're going to get in return.
Oh my God.
And in that way, you actually do get in return. You just have to believe in that. And most people, I think, don't really believe that that's the case. It's always like, well, what do I get if I do this? What do I get in return? What's in it for me? ما هي. And I think هاي مرات ما دايما بتزبط. مرات بدك تعطي لا تاخذ.
Absolutely. I see قدامي and this is why I introduced you as a ball of energy. This is something اللي قلك ليش عن جد أنا كنت بعمل ريسيرش عليكي ولقيت إنه ديما عندها هيدا الانرجي of happiness وjoy, وحسيت someone that I saw someone that's fulfilled with her life. وطبعا on top of كل شيء عم تقولي لي إياه إنه أنت someone that's willing to experiment a lot. فأنا السؤال تاعي هو in theater في كتير عالم بتقول إنه theater helps you find yourself. حلو. It helps you become more aware. It helps you become more self-aware, extremely more self-aware. وأنا صار لي عم بعمل هلا improv for a few weeks and I can see the changes اللي عم يصيروا فيني. فسؤاله هو what's the secret behind Dima's being full of life? Is it? Do you think theater plays a role in this? Because you've been into drama since since school.
Since even I was a kid, I was in ballet, the Kuwait School of Dance. Since I was 6 years old when we got back from the States. So I've always been performing or on stage in one way or another. I think the secret is that I'm going to say it's a mix between the arts, but also I'm not gonna lie and say I haven't done a lot of work on myself. A lot of work. Yeah, I have. I'm not going to say that I haven't.
Oh, okay,
yes,
fair,
I have. So I've done all kinds of book reading, all kinds of self-help books, psychology books. I really was a very rebellious and angry teenager.
Okay.
Nobody would believe this when they see me now. I don't think that this shows. I don't know. I've really changed. I was not happy with the world. I was not happy with the home. I was not happy with my parents. I was not happy with my situation. I was not happy with Kuwait. And I had so many things I wanted to correct and so many ideals that, we have when we're teenagers. And I knew something was wrong. So I felt stuck. So I went through the whole anger, crying, rebelling a little bit. I was told I have to be home at 9 p.m. I would come home at 9:30 just to, rock the boat a little bit. لحديت ما I think I'm going to credit my first knowledge of psychology and self-help to my sister, who was studying in the States and would come back with books and books of like what the world is about, energy, yoga, what the secret to life, happiness, how you have to have happiness. Even though I also want to credit my mom, who always used to tell me, and no, happiness is from within, and love yourself. The two most important things. Happiness is from within and love yourself. But I rebelled against those thoughts so much. إنه كيف بدي أحب حالي؟ ما هيني حابة حالي. What does it really mean إنك تحب حالك؟ ما تأذي حالك.
مش كتير عم تسأل حالها سؤال.
ما بنفهمها.
لا.
It's such a hard concept.
لا.
وإنك to trust yourself. فهول صرت فكر فيهم، اقرأ عنهم، اسأل عنهم. I think between the years of 20 to 30, 35 even, 15 years of complete studying, reading, and then going up and down, and reach moments of pure zal and unhappiness, and then go. One thing about me is I'm resilient. I bounce back up, and I refuse to stay in that down place for too long.
I see that.
مع إنه I've felt it, I've touched it, I've been there.
بس مش سهل يعني عن جد شوف the awareness يمكن نحن بنحكي بين سهلة قدام العالم بس في عالم بتلاقي كتير إنه بنزلاتها بتعلق بنزلاتها وبتلاقي حالك إنه ما حطلع مرة تانية وانا شخصيا مرقت بالمرحله هاي، صرت عن جد فكر اقول لحظه انا نزلت هلا رح اعلق هون ورح ارجع اطلع. وقليل من العالم اللي قعدت معهم بالانسباير وحتى مع العالم الناس اللي بعمري بلاقي انه لا، انه ما عندهم هيك مفهوم للحياه، انه هيدي الليفل اوف اويرنس مش موجوده عند كل العالم.
صح. بدها شغل، ما بتيجي لحالها. ما في one person. يعني your mom can be the best mom, your family they can tell you over and over again and it just goes in one ear بيطلع من the other
100%.
لأنه بدها شغل، بدها knowledge. الحمد لله though my resilience I feel I was born with it. ما بعرف لأنه ولا مرة حسيت حالي رح أعلى. من زمان أنا وصغيرة يمكن فكرت حالي stuck, but the way I got out of being stuck is by traveling. Again, back to the nomad. لما حسيت حالي I'm stuck, okay, I leave. I go study somewhere else. I travel to another country. I go see what's out there. In my adventure and my knowledge, looking at the world, looking at people, studying people, I'm very curious كمان. I didn't know that this is a quality. I thought everybody is curious.
No.
Not at all. So my curiosity and my resilience combined with all the work I'm doing, plus, alhamdulillah, my ability to dance in ballet and to express myself, learning theater at a young age at the Lebanese American University, كنت مولعتها. يعني ما في مسرحية ما حطيت حالي فيها. يا عم برقص، يا عم بغني، ما بعرف غني، بس إنه
ستيل شيء بالضبط. ما بتعرف تغني بس ستيل بتحطي حالك بسيتويشنز تغني.
Oh my God.
بالضبط.
يا عم بعلم رقص لأنه بدي إياني أعلم. يا عم بعمل لايتس أو كنت عايشتها و it gave me such beautiful memories, energy, experience, and acting, by the way, it helps you put yourself in other people's shoes.
Yes.
So that also helped me. So when I was unhappy, I would just jump and go off and play viola in 12th Night or some other character, and I would live that. And then I'd miss Dima. I'd come back to Dima and then have to discover Dima all over again. So I think that did help me, going back to your theater question.
But what about the fear of judgment? Has it never hit you? And the fear of Dima doing يعني أخير ديما تقف تغني من عالم ما بتعرف تغني وديما تروح تمثل بكل المسرحيات يمكن you don't necessarily have to do great in all of them.
Absolutely. Totally. You could totally.
So you're signing up for some failure.
بتعرف يا حسين إذا بقول لك إنه أنا وصغيرة ما كنت خاف من شيء، كان يقول لي بابا أنت ما بتخافي من شيء، يعني مثل بخاف من الله وبس. ما كنت خاف. I was so brave and adventurous. هلا على كبر لا definitely إنه فكر مرتين قبل ما أعمل شيء. بحسب حساب. بعرف إنه العالم عم تتطلع. قبل كان تقول لي ماما مثلا أو حدا يقول لي إنه طب ما العالم شو بيقولوا؟ اطلع فيهم like they were aliens.
And who cares?
إنه why do I even care? And طلع المزبوط the 5 wisdom of life. Don't care what other people think because you can't do anything about
بالضبط. No, you cannot. إذا الواحد بده يلحق العالم شو عم يقولوا رح يقعد بغرفته ما حيعمل شيء. لأن 99% of people are basically scared of taking that jump, and that 1% of people take the jump.
Yes.
And they have to keep taking the jump consistently enough so that the other 99% are jealous and follow.
Yes.
I know. And because now they see there's nothing wrong with doing it, صراحة. And so what if you jump? I have to keep. And what's the worst that can happen? What's the worst that can happen?
Absolutely. Look at me. And you know, failure is such a good thing for success.
Yes.
You need to fail a little bit. You need to jump and hurt yourself and actually get a few scars so that you can do better. Because if you're in your comfort zone and you're just hiding, then it gets harder and harder to achieve.
What gets Dima in love with the concept of empowerment? لما حكيتك على التليفون قلت لك ديما let's actually record. You were stressing on the concept of empowerment. I want to empower the youth.
صح.
ويمكن من اللي انت شرحت لي from your upbringing كيف انت ربيتي you were always that person that wanted to inspire and make change بحياتها.
صح.
To inspire others in the same time لأنه simply you're rebellious يعني ما في شيء مش عاجبيتك بالحياة. Why empowerment for the youth?
That's a good question. I don't know how I stumbled upon it, but I love it. لاحظت إنه كل هالعلم أهلي حطوني ب the best schools وبعدين the best universities و education وسفر and I have all this information. What am I gonna do? Hog it and just sit here with all this information and hide it and die with it? Become an expert in my field and that's that? I look at the youth and I look at people around me and I think if only I had people tell me this when I was that age, I would have done so much with this information.
100%, yes.
So I think to myself, I think that I always feel I need to have a meaning and a role in life. I felt okay بعد ما تعلمت وعملت I acted مثل ما قلت أنت produced شوي مش زهقت أو تعبت بس حسيت إنه في something more. في something more than the pure arts part of it. The glamour and the arts and the acting and the my name and the festivals. There's something that I could be giving that's going to create long-term meaning and effect. It started when I touched upon teaching as a lecturer وصرت شوف الستودنتس كيف عم بيجوا لعندي وطلع فيه please thank you شكرا يعني ما بنعرف شو بدنا نقول لك شكرا. I was like but that was so easy for me. ما تشكروني هاي كانت سهلة ما عملت شيء. It was natural. I haven't even done anything yet. قلت okay so this is something I can be doing. So I started to make it a point anywhere I can, and especially when I learned that not everybody has access to art, to education. And I thought, oh, well, then why not make it accessible and create inclusivity and safe space? Because that's one thing as a young person, I always felt maybe that I wasn't always included.
Yes.
And the feeling of being included is important. And sometimes I overcompensate and I go out of my way لخلي العالم تحس حالها included. يعني بشوف دايما اللي بالصف اللي عم بتعذبوا يلي ما عم بيقدروا يجوا يلي عم بيكون عندهم a feeling of being stuck. دغري قلبي like بحن معهم وبحس إنه okay I think I know how to unstuck you. I think I know how to inspire you a little bit. على القليل يكون عندك a chance at this race because life is not it's not easy.
It's not easy and على فكرة this is building on it. أنت كنتي بانترفيو on KTV حضرت لك إياها and you said something a sentence I took it out لك إياها قلتي and you don't do it for the awards you do it so you can touch somebody somewhere. ولاحظت إنه هيدا الشخص اللي عم يحكي فعلا he doesn't necessarily just focus على end results. بالعكس you're enjoying the journey along the way. عم تحاولي تكوني the best version of you every single day ونوعا عم تعلمي عالم إنه مثل ما أنت قلتي إذا شخص قاعد بالزاوية you're shedding the light on them. And hey, listen, you have the potential to do something, but you just have to pick yourself up. And please understand that. So كمان إنه building on this يعني كمان شفت إنه أنت everything you do always has a lesson from it or has a message. يعني all the movies اللي حضرت لك إياهم من 11 hours وغيره أو حتى القفص لقيت إنه دايما كل واحد منهم عنده a message of empowerment. كيف لقيت هالشيء على مدى حياتك إنه قد إيه الانفلونس اللي شفتيه بالنسبة لليوث يعني؟
قفص is a very good example. I'm glad you bring it up لأنه إلى زمان حدا ما سألني عن قفص. ولا مرة حكيت عملت proper reflection على قفص لأنه قفص is a play written by the world renowned جمانة حداد. A feminist, a writer, a spokesperson لبنانية. Many people know her. And directed by also one of the most prominent directors in Lebanon, Dr. Lina Abyad.
Yes.
So first of all, working with these two ladies was already like wow for me, level up, you know. And then the idea of the play was so controversial, Hussein, so controversial. 5 women that are the outcast of society. المنقبة, الobese, المثلية, العانس, and the prostitute. يعني all 5 ladies that are really, really caged in our society. They're not given their ability to, and to be chosen to play the role of the munaqabe when you know, talk about being brave. Like I do not have a background in being munaqabe. How am I going to portray this character? Research, talking to the ladies, making sure that كتير صعب. Having grown up in Kuwait and had access to people who are munaqabin, I felt like I was able to at least a little bit shed the light. And of course, the play was written in a way where you can do the research and you can find out what you're trying to say. But اللي عم بقول لك عنها إنه what I had to do on stage was very, very courageous. And يمكن لو مش بلبنان ما كنت قدرت أعملها. يمكن هون بالكويت ما قدرت. يمكن it would have been censored.
I'm sure it would have.
It would have been censored.
I'm sure it would have because it's a realistic. أنت عم تقولين that's the thing, that's the sad truth. إنه ال 5 women اللي حكيت عنهم it's life يعني they exist in life.
100%. بس قلت لحالي يعني في ناس قالوا لي بس ديما إذا عملتي هاي البلاي everybody is always going to remember you as the منقبة who did this. And I said okay. Or I am going to remember myself as the only person who had the guts and the courage to tell a story that other people are shying away from and are being scared 100%. To tell.
Most people are scared to say it.
Yes.
Most people are scared of the truth. That's why.
ما هي فأنا يعني فهون another example of ما همني ما إنه همني إنه الناس اللي حوالي ما يزعلوا ما يتضايقوا. Like I have a conservative family ما بدي ضايقهم. But I always just found the right balance.
Yes.
في ناس بيقولوا مثلا أنا رحت عشت بكندا 6 سنين كان فيني أعمل أي شيء لأنه أنا بكندا ما حدا بيعرف شو عم أعمل. بس صدقني عملت أشياء بالArab world that are more controversial than anything in Canada because it didn't come up there. I didn't need to push any boundaries there because things are already open. So I didn't feel I needed to do anything that was controversial or worrisome. Whereas بلبنان had أهلي وهون دايما I'm put in positions where I'm having to push. حتى هلا كنت بمسرحية كانت it was chosen to be part of the Kuwait مهرجان الكويت المسرح وفجأة بيجينا انه ريبورت انه ممنوع انه it's censored. It's about Frankenstein, his Victor Frankenstein, who brings back a dead woman to life.
Okay.
The story is around, it's been written, بس صار في نوع من الحكي انه بتمس بانه عم نلعب دور إلهي by bringing somebody back to life. It's almost embarrassing to talk about it لأنه it's hitting on our literature and our culture and our arts and it really has nothing to do with it, and the story is a feminist story. It is purely feminist. We're not even talking about bringing the person back from life or not. That's just the plot line. It's the premise. It doesn't have anything to do with
it doesn't dictate the whole thing
at all. It's not part of the theme. فكتير زعلت وتخيل انه ما وقفت ما همنا ضليت عم بعملها حتى لو ما أعطيها لحدا يعني we did it and we finished from it and it's done. We memorized our lines and it's ready to go وما حدا شافها.
Oh my god. يعني بتقولي lost potential حرام يعني lost لكل الكاست lost potential بالأخير.
I love the role so much كان بدي أعمله. عم بقول لك أنا راسي هيك إنه أنا بدي أعمل هيدا الرول مش عشان الناس ومش عشان الأووردز مع إنه كان فينا نربح أووردز فيها هاي قد ما حلوة كان الناس. مكتوب by سامي بلال, just really nice نص. I didn't care. I did it all the way to the end. Pregnant.
Oh my God.
Pregnant.
Wow.
It has a lot of physical. It's not easy physically, but I still did it. And then I said, okay, so you don't show it. We don't.
Dima, because you do it for yourself.
Yeah, I do.
You do it for yourself. وهذا شيء كتير أنا بحترمه. I love لأنه you're not working again. You're not working for the results, which 99% of people do. People that work for results are most likely going to stop at the first roadblock. بس أنت شخص عم يشتغل لحاله for his own or her own joy. Because your purpose is empowerment, and therefore you keep going. Therefore literally nothing stops you. You are يعني أنا بدي أقول دايما للعالم إنه your character is a person to fear لأنه you're someone that's unstoppable. That's دايما بقولها لأنه فعلا لأنه عكس غيرك you're not addicted to the results. I respect that. One of the big things اللي theater لما كنت عم research لقيت إنه theater clashes so much with culture. Now we live in Kuwait. حلو. فشخص إجا على الكويت قرر يعمل شيء ضخم اللي هو SIK أو الستيج in Kuwait أو حتى يعمل plays أو يمثل أو so on. How did a Kuwaiti, half Kuwaiti person deal with being the character that you are بس عايش بهيك culture? Was it easy for you?
Yeah, so we touched a little bit on this when I told you how upset I was as a youth.
Yes.
لا, it wasn't easy for me. It wasn't. I'll be honest. كنت كتير متضايقة. أنا وصغيرة متضايقة حاسة I'm stuck and I need to get out. This was the feeling. بس يعني أنا بحبها للكويت وما بحب أحكي شيء ممنح عنها. You know,
لا أكيد لا.
And just so that you know يعني أنا كيف where I stand. ولكن ما يصير نكون شعب that doesn't look critically upon themselves. يعني أنا على فكرة لهجتي راحت فولي لبناني معك لاحظت. أنا نسيت أحكي كويتي. I have that thing where I speak Kuwaiti, Lebanese. I swear I'm Kuwaiti. بس لا so okay خليني أقول لك إياها تكون هيك شوي واضحة أكتر إنه الكويت is a very الكويت نعمة. الكويت نعمة and it gave us a lifestyle that has allowed me to be who I am today. And if it wasn't for Kuwait I wouldn't have the luxury of being this empowering woman force. I can travel the world, I can do what I want. I would have struggled maybe even more if I wasn't. So هاي النعمة وهاي الشغلة اللي في بالكويت الواحد ما بيقدر ينكرها ولا ينساها وأنا بحب to instill it in my baby and in the people around me. ولكن ما فينا كمان نحط blinders like on horses and just be like الكويت بتجنن والكويت كل شيء تمام وماكو مشاكل hidey ho, just be like as if we're in a propaganda mode.
And you cannot do that.
You can't, because it won't serve anybody any good. Okay, we have to say that there are problems, and in the arts specifically, there are problems.
Yes.
Whether it be in stage in Kuwait, I'm facing a lot of problems at the moment with scripts that nobody would understand why they are being refused. Texts, classical texts for Shakespeare and others.
Oh my God.
الكويت بلد فيها كم بدي أعمل إحصائية شوف كم مدرسة إنجليزية أو أمريكية في بالكويت. I think there are so many. There are so many.
Yeah, 100%.
So you've already brought in the English and American culture. You can't suddenly stop it. It's here. Everybody in Kuwait speaks English. English is the predominant language, as is Arabic.
100%.
And you can't pick and choose what culture you take and what story you accept to deal with. And I know that there's rules. There's some things that are no and taboo, and I understand.
Yeah.
There's some things we shouldn't talk about. There's some things that are for kids are not allowed, and there are no. على قلبي مثل العسل, no problem. But to start having a full-on attack on arts and culture and literature, somebody has to fight back. And at this moment in life, and I'm very happy to be back to Kuwait. I traveled a lot. I always kept an eye on Kuwait. I always kept a hand in Kuwait. I worked with Kuwaiti companies abroad just to keep, the connection to Kuwait. I knew I would end up back here somehow.
Back home.
Intuitively. Back home, exactly. Then I do consider it home. But home has problems. معليش نقولها. Home has problems. There's people fighting for it to get better.
Yes.
There's people fighting for it to get worse.
100%.
So we just have to deal with that.
But it needs the change makers. لا ما هو at the end of the day, a country with a lot of problems exists بكل العالم.
Every country, I would say.
100%. Every country does. But in a country with a lot of problems, with zero change makers, where is progress going to come from?
Absolutely.
يعني شخص مثلك that's trying to make change هلا طبعا with limits and with the criteria and so on. I respect that, fair enough. But change nevertheless, it has to happen. Whether it's the small things or the big things. Small things suddenly become big things along the way. We
can't be complacent anymore. And one thing I want to draw attention to, what I'm finding a lot here, is the entitlement. There is so much entitlement. خلاص, you think just because I'm Kuwaiti, I can do whatever I want. I can say whatever I want. I can treat you any which way I want. لا, it's not true. Maybe you can do that here and get away with it. بس ترى it's عيب. It's not nice. You really have to learn how to deal with others and to love others. I'm noticing a lot of internal أذى. Between one Kuwaiti and another. Forget about Kuwaiti Lebanese or Kuwaiti expat. I'm talking even between Kuwaitis amongst themselves. In the 90s, this wasn't the case. Or maybe I was young, but ما كنت حسها هالقد. I feel it's gotten worse.
Yes. هل نحن half Lebanese معودين على discrimination.
لبنان ما عليه. ليش الكويت?
Do you feel theater with the nature of being on stage and having to meet people and becoming characters that are from all different personas and characters and so on? I feel that if people were to learn theater من هن وصغار, they would grow up having more appreciation to others. And I feel discrimination would actually fall. لأن you are wearing different masks. I think what people are missing, مش بحاول بس بالكويت, across the world, some people that we call limited, they're not limited because they're limited. They're limited because they're not exposed. They haven't seen what the other country has. They haven't seen what someone faces ببلده and so on. So I can only imagine قد ايه you've acted so much. فيمكن how has acting perhaps added value to the self-exploration?
Absolutely. A lot of people who come to my drama classes, they call it therapy. It's therapy in disguise.
Yes.
So okay, you're teaching drama, but we feel that you're giving us a therapeutic session.
100%.
We feel we've just been to the psychologist.
Yes.
And I don't mean to do that, but I really do believe in the power of drama therapy and art therapy. And it's a big thing now. People are studying it. Drama therapists all over the place. Really combining art and psychology and art and therapy is huge. Now there's two schools. There's another school that says no, art is not therapy. Art is for art's sake. It's very you have to focus on the excellence of it, the skill, and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
But there's another school that says, but that's not for everyone, and let's do a little. Let's use it as a tool for therapy. I totally believe that having put myself in so many situations, so many characters, so many countries. You know, even when I lived in Canada, I didn't just. Get an apartment like most people and go to the nice coffee shops and enjoy the beauty of the first world countries. No, I decided, there's an indigenous culture that has been persecuted and that exists, and we need to go see it. So I spent most of my time learning about the persecution of the indigenous people, their residential schools, the Indian Act. I even did a whole philosophy comparing the indigenous people to the Palestinian people, which won a federal grant.
Wow.
A federal government grant to keep doing this research, which blew my mind because I was just curious. I'm curious and thinking, and they are so amazing in Canada, where they give you money and promote you for thinking.
For thinking, absolutely. يعني انه يا ريت لو بنعمل هيك بالبلاد العربية.
فهي عملت 2 plays on this موضوع and just understanding the Palestinian story. يعني هون مثلا ما حدا معقول يعطيني أي شيء for anything, whereas in Canada all of this abundance and this financial, moral mentorship support was given to me to explore.
For thinking.
يعني
it's crazy. A few days ago I actually recorded a video نزلته social media. I was talking about how I believe one of the reasons to success in life is simple curiosity. I admire that you are so curious about life. يعني لدرجة أنه you're awarded for just simply thinking. وعن جد يمكن something I can literally take home today with me انه هالمخلوق قد curious فبي I'm already very curious be more curious والشخص اللي منه curious curiosity is your secret in that's the first thing
it's a good secret. Curiosity killed the cat. هاي منا زبطة.
Yes. The second thing I am completely with the school that says art is therapy. I'll actually give you an actual example. Last week I went to improv. So for everyone that's watching, I'm part of improv where you get to go and literally be yourself. You are improvising anything. It's crazy. Anyway, I went there. Wallah, I wasn't feeling that great. I was feeling tired, drained. I was like, ولدرجة كنت حلف في الشارع وروح على البيت. I was like, you know what? Let me just خلاص I'll go. I stood there. We played this game that you count to 16 and you shake your hand and your legs. And after that game, I just felt this energy come out of me. And then لقيت الكل عم يمثل and suddenly I was someone riding a horse, an imaginary horse. And then suddenly I became a zombie. Or suddenly I became someone that's acting in a ما بعرف haunted house. I'm like شو عم يصير؟ بس تعرف لما خلصنا السيشن كلنا بعتنا مسجز لبعض على الجروب الواتساب جروب اسمه improv قلنا انه what a night full of energy. We felt the energy وكلنا رحنا على البيت. We went happy, we were joyful. We felt أن اليوم عملنا ما عملت شو عملنا. I was acting like a zombie literally. بس قد ايه حلوة لما رجعت على البيت لقيت حالي انه قد ايه صار لي مش عامل شيء that's completely out of my comfort zone. Completely out of my comfort zone. ما تخيلت بحياتي honestly والله ديما ما تخيلت بحياتي كون أنا شخص yes أنا عندي self confidence بس لقيت إنه أنا عندي كتير caring to what people think. I cared so much.
It's also your generation.
The first session رحت لها. The first session رحت لها تعرف ما كنت يعني يقولوا لي يلا اطلع مثل عمل شيء هيك improvise. لقيت حالي عندي هيدي في friction بالموضوع ما عم بقدر. Few sessions in لقيت حالي إنه my God إنه I don't care. What's helping me personally بشغلي in my podcast and how consistent I am in my videos. إنه خلص I stopped. I was like, no, what's the worst that can happen? I acted like a zombie. يعني it couldn't get any worse.
I have a few things to say about
yes,
that.
Of course.
First of all, I just want to, just take a shout out to my partner in at SIK, Tim Waddell, who leads these improv classes.
Absolutely.
It's amazing because first of all, we have now a whole a whole show called The Improvengers, which people can go and watch. We almost every month or every other month we have a show at the American United School and people can watch it. And these are people that have been doing improv for a while, but we also have a beginners improv for anyone anybody who wants to try it. Plus, we give drama classes. So almost every single day, we have some kind of drama going on.
Nice.
And as you just said, what you just said now, I'm so happy to hear you say it, because I get told the same thing from my students. I can see them walk in deflated.
Yes.
They are so upset. They almost wish that they didn't have to come. They almost turned the car around and left.
Wow, yeah.
But after the class, they're so happy. Thank you, Dima. Thank you for making sure we came. Sometimes I reach out to people if they've missed a session or two. I'll be like, "Are you okay? Do you want to talk about it? Are you doubting having?" Like, we're not in a good place in life right now. I'm like, come to class.
Trust me, come to
That's when you come to
Come to
class.
class.
That's not when you leave class. So they're like, okay, they'll come and then they're like, yeah, I just needed to come to class, you know? So I love to hear this. I love to know that it's doing well. And I'm so, you know, lucky and thankful to Tim that I'm able to offer such classes with him, and we're able to do that at Staged in Kuwait. To hear this from so many people is already, it grounds me. It makes me keep going. It gives me that fire energy that I need to keep going. That's one thing I wanted to say. And then another thing was touching upon what you said. Yes. So what is this that you're doing? What is it? It's called play.
Yes.
It's called being with your inner child and letting your inner child out. And that is why you feel so good. Kids, do you see how they go through life? Little babies, they walk around.
They're reckless.
They're just doing
having fun, living.
1 second they're eating. Then she has, like, I watch my niece, Aya, how she plays. 1 second she's eating fruits. Then she has a thing on her head. Then she's actually playing hide and seek with me. Then she's running. Then she's on the scooter. Then her dad is jumping her around. All in a span of like 5-10 minutes.
بالضبط. Yes.
It's like,
تقول لهم take it easy.
شو عم تعملي؟ and then نحن لا بدنا نقعد وبدنا
Yes.
نفكر وراسنا عم بيشتغل كتير وعم نطلع على بعض وعم نفكر انه شو عم بيفكر هيدا وشو لازم نعمل هلا scheduling حتى نفسنا صار هون كله.
Yes. We don't breathe well.
We don't breathe well.
We don't
go
breathe
back
well,
to our diaphragm, relax, enjoy play, roll around on the dirt, take our shoes off. It's play. That's why you feel so good, because you're getting to play. Your inner child is so happy. Little Hussein is like, thank you.
Baby Hussein was honestly very joyful, and it hasn't come out in a long time.
That's so cool.
عن جد وحياة الله, it's in a long time, because I was seeing a therapist and بتذكر she told me this sentence. She was like, Hussein, you take yourself too seriously. I was like, you're right. Honestly, you're right. لما رحت على improv, على طبعا drama is part of it. لقيت إنه one of the things besides having fun and so on, لقيت إنه I am able to be in the moment a bit more than usual. Like I'm just, for some reason in that 2 hours, I'm not thinking about my past, and I'm not dwelling on the future. I'm not worried about the future.
The being in the moment, the
عن
presence.
جد لأنه I'm just playing. Actually just playing, and والconcept يمكن العالم تقول شو الconcept غريب, وانا I never understood it, by the way, up until a friend of mine, she was in drama and she was in theater, and I had to just go give it a shot.
Yes.
Trust me, go give it a shot. I was like, what are you on about? شو روح أعمل يعني seriously improvise? I don't know how to. I don't know how to improvise. المشكلة كلمة I don't know blocks you.
Limits you.
بس إنه
You don't know, you'll find out.
بالضبط 100%. And because what's the point of life if you don't experiment? What's the point of life if you don't put yourself in situations where if you play, go مثل, go for auditions. You might mess up.
You don't make a big deal.
You asked me about that. قلت لي إنه بتعرف تغني. قلت لك إنه ديما ما بغني, بس قلت لك there's a first time to everything.
صح.
And so why not? وام شور بتلاقي كتير عالم هيك وعندك بأساكر.
ولو بتشوف امبارح كان في little kids are applying for our panto. Okay, so during class we teach little kids as well, not just adults. So during class they got to audition, and then afterwards Tim gets to tell them whether they made it or not.
Oh, that's harsh.
And you have these little ones, you know, and they're just completely collapsed. Like, please, let me try one more time. I will make it. I want to act in this play. They don't even know what the play is. They don't know what's gonna happen, but they want it. Like and the tears, and it just teaches you to, at a young age, to deal with rejection. See, theater teaches you everything.
Yes, it does.
It teaches you about the limelight and about rejection and about teamwork and about self-confidence and play. There's not one skill that theater teaches that you don't need in life.
Yeah.
That's why you were asking me about how important theater is in life in general.
It's very important.
إنه هي فيك أنت تروح تبعت أولادك. أنا يا ريت في art schools. يا ريت فينا بس نبعت our kids وننسى math وكل هاي الأشياء التانية اللي هي مهمة for kids that are artistically inclined. And I know there are some schools that try to do that, but we're still very conventional and conservative. Like we have to do the regular school, high school system. I think arts, nature, talking about space and physics, STEM and STEAM,
Yes.
those are the way of the future. That's the kind of education that is actually going to help our youth to be better citizens and create better, healthy societies.
And imagine someone presenting something very traditional, mathematical, scientific, but in an artistic form.
Absolutely.
Go act it up. Go stand on stage and show me. Of course. The one, I took a sentence in one of your interviews. You said people think acting is something very difficult they have to achieve. It's not. It's about removing masks and to play and have fun. Yes. It's the masks concept شوي. It's ما بعرف مع الأبرص. I've never acted many different roles. I've always been myself. I have my work mask and I have my podcast mask. I have my friendly mask. And you know,
you're aware of the mask. As long as you're aware of the mask.
I'm aware of them. I'm trying to drop them down and be one person. بس لقيت إنه is that the point of life? Is it not? So debate, dilemma. فإنه عن جد إنه how is it on stage playing different masks? You've played so many different masks. بس القصة لما مثلا أنت هلا صدمتيني على فكرة إنه قصة إنه أنت لعبتي الدور منقبة بس لو بحياتك كنت منقبة. How? I mean,
research كتير مهم. Research كتير مهم. بينسوا الناس إنه how important research is. Ask any famous actor like from Matt Damon or any of your favorite actors when they have to act roles like let's say junkies or roles that are not themselves. They have had to sit there and do a lot of research. And some people actually go onto the ground and live that life. Their research is actually a livable experience. But Anna, for me, I think. It's okay to play a mask. It's okay to create a mask and put it on stage. But the actor has to be maskless. The character is a mask. Sure, it's a prototype. It's something you've studied and you've given it a shape and a size and everything. Whereas the actor can't have a mask and then you put a mask on top of a mask. You know, this is a good idea. Like, you know, when you put glasses and then you have to put sunglasses, you can't put the glasses.
No, it doesn't work, no.
The actor has to be a vessel. The actor has to be open, free. Even when you do acting exercises, you learn to relax your muscles. And we don't look beautiful when we relax our muscles. We look weird, right?
Yeah,
like
everything
بشطلة تحت. We're used to always having this look on our face to appear beautiful. Actors have to let it all go. All the tension in their body, all the tension in their face, all their feelings, everything.
To live the character.
Take it out, and then live the character in the moment of the character. That's what's beautiful. That spontaneous, moment by moment impulse, which I love to teach it because I love this guy called Meisner, Stanford Meisner, who came up with the idea of acting on impulse as opposed to pretend acting, like acting from the inside out. So you don't know anything. You're given a script and your impulse is going to lead you. You're going to have some action to do and this action is going to lead to impulse and the impulse is going to lead to feeling. Anyway, it's a whole long story.
I did my research on that, by the way.
Really? It's basically what improv is right now, but as an academic study.
It was different. It was people talking to each other and they're repeating what the person...
exercise. I do that in my class all the time, lots. And it drives them crazy. Like, why are we doing it?
It was weird. It was interesting. And he was giving them feedback, Meisner himself. I was like, they're repeating the answers.
So the modern way of doing this, like improv as you're doing it, it stems from Meisner. It's the new way. It's just you don't have to sit there and do the repeating exercises. And we're not actors trying to learn the art and craft of acting. You know, you want to play and have fun. So improv is a very good way for that. If you wanted to be an actor, go to Hollywood, you would probably have to take more theory, more skill building, understand Meisner a bit more. But what I love about it just is the fact that it's about impulse. You don't have to. You have it prepared. You have it in your head. خلاص, you come on stage, boom, you do it. أنا وياك, we can do a small exercise. فينا اثنيناتنا نبكي. فينا نوصل لمرحلة نحس إنه نبكي. If we do that exercise right, if we allow ourselves in the moment to exist in the pain and the sadness of what is happening in the moment. So we don't. We that's where the masks don't let you.
That's when defenses come out.
Absolutely. And if you have those as an actor, probably ما رح تقدر تنجح.
حتبين مصطنع.
حتبين انه انت ليش انت هيك مسكر وما عم تقدر ترتاح وتفوت بالجو. The best actors are the ones that have emotion just popping out of their eyeballs, if you know what I mean. Every word they say, everything they look at is a felt emotion.
بس بتعرفي it applies to a lot of things as well. مش بس acting يعني for example I'll tell you an example. أنا مثلا I record the videos by myself, right? I've realized something. لما أحس حالي أنا I'm scripting it too much. it's so fake.
صح.
بس شو بعمل I let it go ولا you know change the topic. I think of a topic and I'm like بقعد قدام الكاميرا I'm like turn it on احكي
برافو.
and start talking. لقيت انه people connect شفت كيف how your eyes start glazing الامور. People start to connect with that. So العالم عن جد to connect with you لأنه it's coming naturally على أنه شخص حاطط والله that mask وفوقه حاطط topic وعم يصطنع على شيء إنه he's just faking it along the
الناس
way.
بيخافوا من rambling بس if you know what you're talking about and you have something to talk about you won't ramble. يعني even if you ramble a little bit you'll always find a way to come back.
كمان you said something very this is why كمان empowerment and inspiration you've been so empowering and this is where the inspirational part you said one of the reasons we don't move forward is because we think we're bad but you said and just go ahead and do it have the spirit that's why أنا كتبت أنه what an inspiration and you literally said these sentences I think the key with theater would be أنه you will 99% of the time think it's not for you and you'll think it's scary and you'll think it's not the right spot for you to be in but I think كل شخص لازم ياخد هذه النطة because he's thinking that way.
So many people Hussein have left. So many students have come, tried it for a bit and left. And it's so hard for me not to take it personally sometimes. Oh, I failed them. I didn't do a good job. I didn't empower. I didn't inspire. But then so many stay. And it's like, if you really look at it, really try to study the difference between those who leave and those who stay. Most of the time you'll find that there's fear involved. Fear of they just don't feel like they fit in. It's just not for them. They don't think they're doing a good job. Even though ما في حتى علامة واحدة بهول الصفوف. ما في شيء اسمه good job. But we put such limits on ourselves and that stops us from being able to continue.
The biggest limiters are ourselves. We are our biggest limiters. صراحة لأنه it's a mindset game at the end of the day. It's a mindset game. وأنا دايما بقول لحالي إنه do it when you least feel like doing it. When you least feel like doing it.
That's when you should do it. When you're scared of it, do it. Everything I've been scared of in life, it's because I had to go. It's called facing the lion's roar. Go right to the lion's den.
Absolutely.
To the lion's roar. That's where you're gonna build whatever it is that to stop you from doing the same thing again.
بالضبط.
And again and again. If you're scared of it this time, who's to say you're not gonna be scared of it next time?
صح.
The only way out is through.
ما هو العالم sorry if they understand the concept of the comfort zone أنا بالأخير أنت what's the comfort zone? The comfort zone is when your body and your brain is comfortable enough to be in this zone itself. And the moment you think of breaking it شو بيعمل جسمك؟ بيقول لك no.
Fight, flight or freeze.
100% you're sitting down and you're gonna feel down, you're gonna be lazy.
Absolutely.
So why not watch a series? Why not watch a movie? بس no, which I respect.
Yes.
بس بالأخير you cannot do that every single time.
Yes.
يعني
believe me حتى أنا أنت you say I'm active and I'm out there and I'm a ball of energy. Do you know how much I love to sit and watch Netflix? Like if I tell you how much I love it and
time for yourself.
Absolutely, and I love it, and I do every night. I'll watch one episode. Yani I'll allow myself that guilty pleasure, but after I've had a really long, constructive day.
A balanced life.
Yes.
A balanced life.
But then I'm gonna get to do it.
You're gonna get.
مش إنه no ممنوع أبدا. I don't
Reward
do
yourself.
it. Yes.
Reward yourself.
In Canada, I went through a 7-year phase. No television. No television.
Oh my God, that's crazy.
I
don't watch TV بس أنا I understand.
إنه عارف.
نحن our culture لا that's another level.
لا I said حدا قال لي إنه television spoils you and it makes you less constructive and I was like oh it does. إنه إيش الفكرة؟ طب I'm gonna try. وفعلا instead of watching TV I was writing, reading out, nature, yoga, anything. بس رجعت لهون ولا أكيد I plus they make it very hard for you now not to. I mean Netflix and other such channels, HBO and all of them, the platforms, the excellency and the quality of the TV series, which is what I do. I do film, right?
Yes.
I love film too, not just theater. So it's so beautiful. How can I not watch it? There's so many beautiful things going on.
Someone like you appreciates it.
I really appreciate it.
Appreciate a good image.
Yes.
Yes. So I want to get to a few concluding questions. When I was doing my research on you, fit على social media, and then I found this interesting post, okay? So the post was while you were doing the Once Upon a Revolution documentary, okay? And you have a caption talking about how you wanted to take a risk, how you wanted the cameraman maybe to climb up something or take more. And the caption was, but what are we willing to do for the sake of art?
Yeah.
So I love it. It stuck to me, by the way. Anita Heck, and then the first question that came to me as like Dima, what are you willing to do for the sake of art?
That was for the short film Once Upon a Revolution that I did with my very good friend Soha, and I was producing that film from A to Z. During after the bomb, after the explosion of August 4, during the inflation and the revolution, and it was like the hardest thing to produce this film. Like people would have said, no, we can't do it right now. I'm telling you. And said, no, we're going to do it.
We will.
What am I willing to do, Yasin? Like, I think the question for me is, what am I
not willing to do? What am I?
Sell my soul. ما بعرف بس I am somebody who doesn't take no for an answer.
Yeah.
خصوصا when I'm doing it for art. هلا if I'm doing it or let's say for family.
Yeah.
When it has some kind of moral value attached to it. If it's just a small little thing, no is no. I'm very easy with no, actually. مثلا. Or actually, I wish I had this spirit when it comes to financial and business. And if a sponsor says no to me, I'm like, okay, no. You know, like, بستحي أكتر من هيك shit. إنه no ما بدك تعطيني مصاري خلص, it's fine. بس إذا no ما بدك تخليني صور. That's not fine, dude. Are you sure of what you're saying? Like my husband is really good at talking about this particular point. بيقول ديما بتروح بتقعد في ما حدا قال لي إنه ما بدنا نحط لايت على بناية أو بدك تنطري, and he kept giving me the runaround. So I was like, وينه هيدا الزلمة؟ قال بالميتينج بده 3 ساعات. قلت له no problem. رحت قعدت بالويتنج روم, فتحت I got my coffee, فتحت my laptop وقعدت عندهم. كل شوي تيجي لعندي السكرتيرة, أنا شو عم تعمل؟ قلت مش عم بشتغل, خلص المسيو. and she's like لا ما خلص.
3 hours later.
I'm like no problem. آخر شيء إجوا لعندي قالوا لي no, it's fine. You can حط اللايت, it's all good. Just go for it. You need that little bit of هنا بيسموها تقل دم أو شو بيقولوا, شو ما عندك بلا إحساس أو تقل دم, ما بعرف what they بيسموه when
you have to fight.
You have to fight, right?
You cannot just settle.
No.
That's the whole point. You cannot settle, I think,
yeah,
honestly, especially
the fighter
in
me comes out in these situations.
It has to. It has to.
Yeah.
So one of my friends is a big fan of you, and she wants to know.
Okay.
When does Dima feel most alive when acting? When do you feel most alive?
هلا she's right لأنه it's when acting. بس she wants an even more breakdown of it. يعني she wants to know when while acting.
When while acting فيه يعني is there a certain role ولا بتحسي حالك, because at the end of the day I'm sure you relate to a specific role a bit more than others. Or maybe حتى ما ضروري acting. Do you feel more alive when you're producing, directing?
No. Acting for sure.
Acting it
so
is.
she got that right. But I like the question because إنه within acting إنه there's so many parts of it. مثلا every time right before I go on stage I say why am I doing this? I get my tummy, I want to get out of it. I don't want to act. I'm never going to do this again. Let me just get through this play. And I'm never going to, like, the fear, even until now, comes.
It's still there.
So that's not my favorite part.
Yeah.
My favorite part is when I am just in it and I forget that I'm acting.
اوف واو.
خلص بنسى أنا بصير هون. حتى هلا صارت معك at one point. أنا ما بعرف هلا بنسى إنه I'm doing a podcast. في تصوير في شيء. أنا معك ونحن رايحين طايرين. هون I really feel alive, and it happens in theater in moments beautiful and film. Film is harder because cut, repeat.
And then you
cut, do it again. Cut, change the angle, which I actually enjoy. I don't know why. I still like it. But theater, no, you can have your moment for an hour, an hour and a half sometimes. And that's really nice. That's really amazing.
Thank you so much, Amjad. The last question I want to ask you is, طبعا نحن اليوم كنا بنحكي about empowerment و inspiration to the youth. طبعا شوي focused على theater يعني. What would be, if you had one advice to someone watching this who is in, you know, the teenage age or mid-20s and so on, what advice would you have for them, do you think?
I'm going to go with the general advice, okay?
Yes.
Work hard on yourself.
Yeah.
اشتغلوا على حالكم. Don't ما تبخلوا على حالكم. Don't be miserly or frugal towards yourselves. Read the books. Get on that Google, watch the movies, listen to the podcasts, be curious, just keep reading and learning and have the conversations. If you're going to be somewhere, really be there. If you're going to take a 1-hour class with a mentor, ask questions when you're done. If you're going to take any kind of workshop or class, make sure you drain it. This person is giving you their time. Drain them. Really, just don't be shy to ask questions and get knowledge. Knowledge is power and key. So get that curiosity going, get your knowledge, and just shine.
تعرفي Alan Watts, he's a philosopher.
Of course.
He has a video, he says, life is a musical and we're supposed to dance. And I love that sentence because basically انت اللي عم تقولي انه عن جد فعلا if you think about it انه هي الحياة عبارة عن a musical that just plays every single day. A lot of us decide to sit down and not play it. But if we were to actually look at it عن جد من برا بنلاقي انه لا عن جد it's a musical and we are supposed to dance. And I think if you were to lead your life dancing every day by being curious, by asking the questions, by taking the risk, by being aware of your problems, I feel not only are you going to be just happy, like you're going to become joyful, more inspired, more empowered to do things, and you'll be surprised of yourself. إنه كيف أنا هالإنسان صرت فجأة تغيرت, you know, call it luck sometimes. It's not.
And the people you'll meet along the way.
That's the biggest part. Dima, I wouldn't have met you if I didn't go to a random workshop.
Absolutely.
عم نسمع two women عم يحكوا about women empowerment.
صح.
بس how did I meet you? It's meeting you because I woke up قلت لها, you know what, I'll sacrifice that hour of going with my friends. Let me go listen to some influential people, influential women talk. And then suddenly I met you, and then the cycle rolls on. But it's unfair for us to call it luck.
صح.
Because it's not luck.
You did that. You woke up in the morning, you showed up, and you get rewarded for your
absolutely.
For what you did. Same for me.
Yes.
And there are many times when I'm scared of things. There are some things I'm not dancing in that musical. I'm not doing something that I know I could be doing. But I'll go do something else until I'm ready to go back to that one. I won't just suddenly stop and not do anything. I'll flag it. Oh, I have a little fear there, or I have a little thing I need to work on there. And life throws you people who will put that mirror for you and show you when you're not dancing.
Absolutely. You're going to have friends who at the end of the day, some people will come and criticize you, some people will come and empower you, some people will surprise you, shock you, blah, blah, blah.
You have to filter through.
But at the end of the day, you are your own self. والسر هو انك just keep going regardless of what people tell you. I think if you're on stage, you will definitely have 200, 300 eyes looking straight into your soul. And then you're going to have to be like, no, I'm going to fight it. Next week عندي my improv. No, not the actual improv.
You have an actual improv?
The actual improv on the 14th, we're performing.
Are you? I didn't realize that the beginners were performing.
We are performing.
Oh my.
We are performing. So
where? At the school?
I think so. بعد ما خبرنا. So basically هيدا طبعا الكل يعني اللي عم يحضر إنه if you're actually interested, it's not just that you're gonna learn in class, لا, you're gonna learn and implement. And Tim is actually preparing us, and every day we play, and he's like, imagine the audience. I was like, no, I will not. No, I will not imagine the audience.
My ballet teacher used to tell me, imagine that the audience was vegetables, like squash and eggplants and lettuce and all these different things. Imagine that's what they are. It helped when I was young. I don't know salata. And there's some teachers that say, imagine that they're all naked and like
there's so many different theories. ما حتخيل شيء أنا. فيعني عن جد بقول للعالم إنه اللي يعني أنا كنت أعمل inspire والpublic speaking and for so long كنت دايما أقول لحالي إنه مشكلة ego sometimes eats your life. وتقول لحالك I'm very confident I can do this, I can do that. Then I saw this random post about improv. سألت حالي سؤال. I was literally walking. I was traveled in Europe. I was walking. طلعت بحالي قلت لحالي am I brave enough to improvise? لقيت the first answer in my mind was no. Hell no, you're not gonna do it. But because I said no, فتحت the application form and I applied and I got it and I was like, do I want to go? I paid so I can go. And I went and I realized the answer was actually that I'm not brave enough to do it. And I was like, so all this ego اللي كان موجود and I can do this because I've done this and this. لا, it doesn't exist. Break it all down. Because now you're doing something so different. It's actually more precious, by the way, than any of this. لأنه it brought back that inner child. Falax, I want to thank you and thank Tim, honestly, for the beautiful initiative, beautiful place. I've never met such a unique, collaborative family like SIK, honestly. وبشجع كل شخص يفوت عليها, honestly. Thank you for being part of Inspire. فعلا I'm so happy that someone like you is in this space. So thank you for your time.
Thank you so much. And بالعكس, the pleasure is all mine.
inshallah, I'm confident I'll see you do way more things, more and more.
I'm looking forward to see you do way more.
لا inshallah, we'll both grow.
I'm gonna be there on the 14th. You can be sure of that. But you shouldn't care what I think.
Yeah, exactly. So اللي مش حاضر أفلام ديما definitely لازم يحضر أفلام ديما. أنا one of my favorites is 11 Hours.
Yes.
I made my brother watch it and we both teared up نحن عم نحضرها.
Yes.
What a story. The way it's filmed, just very unique. ففعلا اللي مش حاضر أفلام ديما يفوت ويحضر أفلام ديما.
There is a chance to watch more films at the American International University on the, I think this podcast will be out by then, but until you decide, on the 13th to the 19th.
Of
November.
November.
The American International University has a film festival. I'm going to be a jury at the festival, and I have some of my films. And some of the films that we've chosen, over 2,000 applicants applied.
Wow.
And so there will be a nice amount of films to watch for people to come
Amazing.
to come and see. There'll be
Appreciate
information about
Thank you
that.
so much. And to everyone listening, again, thank you so much for listening if you have. Definitely, as usual, مثل ما عودتكم inspired دايما behind. We're very picky with the guests for someone to be as energetic as Dima يعني, or as هيك inspirational as Dima, or definitely more people to come. But just stay tuned or keep watching, or more things will roll out. All right. Thank you. Thank you, Dima.
Thank you.
Right.